the main areas we need to look at mobilising would be the upper back and the shoulders. Primarily this is for the overhead squats, but of course if we're going to be progressing on to either the pull-ups or the muscle-ups, you want to have a nice open shoulder in order to be able to kip effectively. So first and foremost, we're going to be looking at the upper back. We're going to be looking at releasing off through the lats, and we're going to try and get that nice overhead position, that straight line there. Okay, if we are immobile or stiff through this thoracic section here of our spine, what tends to happen when we squat is we end up dropping forward as that back can't extend. So we're going to be looking at pulling ourselves back into extension in order to get that nice optimum position in the overhead squat. So if we start by releasing the soft tissue work first, you're going to need a kettlebell, which you're going to keep facing up side onto you. You're going to lay side down with your palm facing up, and the back of your shoulder, or your back of your armpit, that sort of area, on the kettlebell. So you'll pretty much straight away find an area which will feel tight, uncomfortable, maybe painful for some of you, and you're going to spend the time extending the arm up and back. So we're working on actively releasing the lats, okay, so the muscles around the back of the shoulders. So move the kettlebell around every 30 to 40 seconds or so. Spend as long as you feel you need to here, okay? The longer you spend, the more soft tissue work you're going to end up doing, the better movement you're going to finish with. So work on both sides with the kettlebell. Once you've worked into those lats, we're going to start looking at working into the joints through the upper back. We're going to start with a nice easy position which you may have all done before, which I call a drop through. You have option one where you use the side of the hands, thumbs facing the ceiling, hunch the shoulders up, breathe in. As you exhale, drop the chest and the chin down to the floor. So your focus here is on that pressure being built up through your upper back. If you want to, you can get someone to gently apply some pressure around the shoulder blade region, either side of the back, pushing downwards. You can progress that onto elbows onto bench, palms together. Breathe in. As you breathe out, drop your head down and through. Keeping the hands together. Ideally, don't let them drop behind you. Keep them above. So the focus is still on the upper back rather than pulling into the triceps. We can then move on working on individual joints. We're going to start with our upper back on the edge of the bench. You're going to take your hands behind to grab hold. Point your elbows to the ceiling. Hips start flat, head starts flat. Breathe in, breathe out. Drop the hips to the floor and focus on where that bench is pressing into the vertebrae in the back. Okay, so you're going to work from sort of mid upper back or bra strap height and start increasing or moving your way up the spine. Spend 10 seconds and breathe nice and relax into that position each way. We can then make that more sport specific. We're going to put ourselves on the foam roller. I've got a 7 kilo barbell, so don't use a mega heavy one unless you're confident with your mobility. Upper back on the foam roller, reach back into a comfortable grip, so similar to an overhead squat grip, okay? From there, you're going to reach the arms up so they're fully extended. Keep your tummy drawn in tight so your low back remains flat, and just let that foam roller do the work, pushing into your upper back, relaxing over the roller. So what we're trying to avoid here is too much extension coming in through that low back. We just want the movement to come through the upper back, so you've got to pull those abs in and keep the core nice and solid so the movement comes from the spine and in the top. Okay, if you want to, you can take the bar in behind the head. This is going to be quite challenging for some of you. From here, try and press up in a straight line. So the weight of that bar is going to be really tough for you to hold. Okay, so as long as you have the mobility and strength, you can also do that pressing motion with a PVC pipe or a broom, so something a lot lighter. For the mobility side of things, you're going to be looking more for the weight to hold your arms back and down. So you're going to be pressing into that foam roller there. With the overhead squat, we tend to look too much at the shoulders and not enough at the spine. So really focus your warm up on improving the range through your upper back. Okay, after that, you've obviously got your regular hip mobility drills you need to focus on, mobilizing the ankles and so on. But lats and upper back are key for overhead squats. They'll be key for kipping, for pull-ups and muscle-ups. So work on that, spend a good 15 minutes before you go. Good luck.